This is a story based on real events in the life of Lauren Mahone, a girl who was taken to another country by her own father and spent years imprisoned between borders, cultures, and broken promises. Some scenes were adapted for dramatic and narrative purposes. What you are about to hear is not fiction. It is a story told through the eyes of someone who lost her freedom, but never her mother's love.
Forgiveness is an easy word to say. But when the person who hurt you never apologized, when they never admitted they were wrong, when they took away everything you knew and left you broken, then forgiveness becomes the hardest thing in the world. My father kidnapped me when I was 7 years old. He took me to Jordan. He took me away from my mother. He took me out of my life. And he never, ever looked me in the eye and said, "I'm sorry." It took me years to understand that forgiveness isn't about the other person. It's about you. It's about letting go of the weight. It's about letting God take care of what you can't carry. My mother taught me this, not with words, with actions. She traveled the world. She hired ex-military personnel. She risked her own life, and she brought me back. She taught me that love never gives up, that faith can move mountains, that some battles only God can win. My name is Lauren Mahone, and this is the story of how I was kidnapped, rescued, and finally redeemed. Every rescue story begins with a love story. Mine began long before I was born. It began in a noisy restaurant in Dallas, with a red-haired waitress and a Jordanian boy with a kind smile. Autumn 1975. My mom was 19. She worked at Country Skillet to pay for college. Double shifts, aching feet, big dreams. My father was there too. A waiter and a dishwasher, saving every penny to study. She was pure energy, an easy laugh, a thick Texan accent, blue eyes that sparkled when she talked about her plans. He was quiet, polite, handsome in that way that makes you look twice, and kind, very kind. At least it was. They fell in love the way we fall in. Love when we're young and think the whole world fits in a hug. My mother always told me he was different from all the boys she knew, respectful, attentive. He brought her flowers. He opened doors. He listened when she spoke. He made me feel special, she said, and I believe her. Because before he became the man who kidnapped me, he was the man she loved. They got married in 1977. Her family was surprised. His family on the other side of the world didn't even know, but they didn't care. Love doesn't need approval, right? Wrong love needs truth. And truth was something my father kept secret. For the first few years, everything seemed right. He worked, she studied. They made plans. They bought a small house. They painted the guest room yellow because I was on my way. I was born in 1980, a girl with big eyes and an easy smile. Half her, half him. My mother says I was pure joy, that she would spend hours just watching me sleep, that my father would hold me in his arms and sing songs in Arabic. But something changed, not suddenly, slowly, like a shadow that grows until it covers everything. When I was about 2 years old, my father started to change. He became more serious, more religious, more distant. He started talking about traditions, about how I should be raised, about what was right and wrong, and suddenly nothing my mother did was right. She needs an Arabic name. She needs to cover her arms. She can't be raised like that. My mother tried to understand. She tried to find a middle ground. But there was no middle ground. There was only his way. She told me about the fights, the arguments that started quietly and ended with slamming doors. The nights she cried in the bathroom so I wouldn't hear. I just wanted you to have both cultures, she told me years later. I wanted you to know his family, his traditions, but I also wanted you to be free to choose. Choice was something my father didn't understand. For him, there was only obedience. There is a memory that has stayed with me. I must have been about 5 years old. I was playing in the backyard. My father came in with a little golden box. It opened in front of me. Inside were necklaces, bracelets, all gold. With writing I couldn't read. He put them on me, one by one, as if he was dressing me for something important. "You are my daughter," he said, "and you will remember where you came from." I looked at my mother. She was standing in the kitchen doorway. Her face said it all, fear. I didn't understand at the time. But now I understand. Those necklaces were not gifts. They were chains. The marriage ended when I was 6. Divorce. Ugly word. A word that hurts, but it was necessary. My mom tried. Everything. Therapy, talks, prayers, but you can't save something someone else has already decided to destroy. The judge granted shared custody. I stayed with my mother during the week, and with my father on the weekends. He has the right to see his daughter, they said, and technically everything was fine. Documents signed, court order, civilized. But there was something that no one saw. The way he looked at me, like I was something he had lost and was going to get back. October 1987, Friday afternoon. My dad came to pick me up as usual. Pink backpack on my back, Velcro sneakers. "Go have fun, my love," my mother said. She kissed my forehead. She held my face in her hands. "See you on Sunday." I waved out the car window. I didn't know I wasn't going to see her on Sunday. I didn't know I wouldn't see her for months. Sunday arrived, I didn't come back. My mother called. No one answered. He called again. 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 He went to his apartment. Empty. Door locked. Curtains closed. Silence. She felt it. At that moment she felt it. Something was wrong. Very wrong. He ran to the police station. His hands were shaking. His voice was breaking. "My daughter. My ex-husband didn't give me my daughter back." The police officer took the paper. He wrote it down. He said he would investigate, but it wasn't fast enough. Because that night, while my mother was begging for help, I was already 40,000 feet above the ground, on a plane, heading to Jordan, towards a place I had never seen, towards a country I didn't even know existed. And my father, sitting beside me, held my hand and said, "We're going home, Lauren. Our real home. Sometimes the biggest kidnappings aren't done by strangers. It's done by those who should protect you. It's done in the name of love, or what someone thinks love is. But true love does not imprison. True love sets you free, and my mother was going to prove it, in a way no one thought possible. My mother always said that there are 2 types of silence, the silence of peace and the silence of panic. Sunday night, October 1987, her apartment echoed with the second type. She called my father 23 times. She counted later. 23, no response, just that touch that repeats itself, and repeats itself, and repeats itself, until it becomes torture. She went to his apartment. She rang the bell. She knocked on the door. She shouted my name. Nothing. The neighbors came out to see what was happening. A woman in a bathrobe. A man with a newspaper in his hand. "He hasn't been there since Friday," someone said. Friday, the day he picked me up. She drove home in an automatic. She doesn't remember stopping at a red light. She doesn't remember breathing, just remember one thing. Prayer. "God, please. Protect my daughter, please." He arrived home and called the police. Her voice was shaking so much she could barely speak. "My daughter. My ex-husband. He didn't give my daughter back." On the other end of the line, a tired police officer took the details. Name, age, description. "Ma'am, does he have shared custody?" "Yes, but..." "So technically it's not a kidnapping. It could just be a delay." "No, you don't understand. He's from Jordan." He always talked about going back. We'll have someone check his apartment tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning, as if tomorrow wasn't too late. She didn't sleep. She sat in the kitchen, her cup of coffee growing cold in her hand, her eyes fixed on the phone. "Play," she whispered. "Please play." But the phone didn't ring, and when the sun rose, she was already up. She was already dressed. She was already fighting. Monday, 6 in the morning, she called her lawyer, the judge who had granted custody. "Everyone who could help. I need a search warrant. I need you to find him. I need my daughter back." But the answers were always the same. "Let's see what we can do. It takes time. We cannot act without concrete evidence." Time was something she didn't have. It was on Tuesday that she remembered, 9 years ago, before they were married. My father had taken her to Jordan to meet his family. She remembered the trip, the streets of Amman, the food, the people. And I remembered one specific thing, the airline, Royal Alia Airlines. She ran to her room. She rummaged through drawers, old papers, old photos. It found a postcard with the company logo and a phone number, headquarters in New York. She looked at her watch. 10 in the morning, 3 hours behind. She grabbed her purse, her keys. She ran out because she wasn't going to wait. She wasn't going to sit around. She wasn't going to let my life be stolen from her without a fight. The payphone was on the corner of the main street. Dirty windows, the smell of stale cigarettes, the noise of passing cars. She put the coins in. Her hands were shaking so much she almost dropped everything. Dialed, tap, tap, tap. "Royal Alia Airlines. How may I help you?" My mother took a deep breath. "Hi, I need to check if you have passengers on a flight. A Lauren and an Ali." "Ma'am, I can't give out that kind of information." And it was there, in that moment, that everything changed. My mother could have given up. She could have hung up. She could have accepted the no, but she didn't accept it. Her voice changed. It was no longer the voice of someone asking for a favor. It was the voice of a desperate mother. "Please," ela dice, y a palavra saiu quebrada, rasgada, real. "I think my ex-husband took my daughter. Please, I need to know if they're on your flight. Please help me." Silence on the other side, then a sigh. "Hold on." My mother closed her eyes. Her hand gripped the phone so tightly that her knuckles turned white. "Please, God, please," the woman returned. "Mom?" "Yes. I have a Lauren and an Ali arriving in Amman, Jordan this evening." The world stopped. Cars kept passing. People kept walking. The sun kept shining. But for my mother, everything froze. "This evening?" she repeated. "Yes, Mom. Thank you. Thank you so much." She hung up. He leaned his forehead against the cold phone and he cried, not of relief, of terror, because now she knew I was in the air, on my way to another continent, being taken away from her, and there was nothing she could do, or was there? She ran home. She called the FBI. "My ex-husband kidnapped my daughter. She's on a flight to Jordan right now. You need to stop the plane. Ma'am, if he has joint custody, he violated the court order. He can't take her out of the country." "I understand. But Jordan does not have an extradition treaty with the United States. We cannot officially intervene. We cannot officially intervene." 7 words that destroyed everything. She called the State Department, the consulate, the embassy. Always the same answer: "We cannot do anything with it. It's a custody issue, not a crime issue. He is a Jordanian citizen. She is in his country now." She screamed into the phone. She begged. She cried. Nothing has changed. The doors were closed. The government wouldn't help. The law wouldn't help. No one would help. I was alone, on the other side of the world, with a man who thought he had the right to take me away from my mother, and she was alone, here, powerless, no options, hopeless. Wednesday. She woke up with swollen eyes. Her body ached. Her soul shattered. Made coffee. Didn't drink it. He sat at the kitchen table, papers scattered about, phone numbers, desperate notes, and then she saw a business card fallen on the floor. It must have come from some drawer she'd rummaged through. He picked up. Corporate training, unlimited, security solutions. She couldn't remember where she'd come from. Maybe some work event, some fair, but there was a number, and at that moment she had nothing left to lose. Dialed. The phone rang twice. CTU, Don Feeney speaking. Mr. Feeney, ela disse. A voz dela saiu firme dessa vez. Determinada. My name is Cathy Mahone, and I need your help to get my daughter back from Jordan. Silence. After. Tell me everything, she told, about marriage, about divorce, about kidnapping, about closed doors. He listened to everything. Without interrupting, when she finished, he asked a question. Mrs. Mahone, you understand what you're asking, right? This isn't a legal process. This is a rescue mission in a foreign country with serious risks. I understand. It's going to cost money, a lot of money. I'll find it. And there's no guarantee. I don't need guarantees. Ela interrompu. I need my daughter. And I'll do whatever it takes. He took a deep breath. Okay, let me make some calls. I'll get back to you in 48 hours. Thank you, Mrs. Mahone. Yes, your daughter is lucky to have a mother like you. She hung up. He looked out the window. The sky was gray. It looked like it was going to rain, but inside her, something changed. There was no hope yet. It was determination, faith, courage. If no one was going to bring my daughter back, then she would do it herself, no matter the cost. No matter the risk, love doesn't give up, and my mother was going to prove it. Meanwhile, on the other side of the world, I woke up in a strange bed, in a strange house, with strange people looking at me and saying words I didn't understand. Mama? I called. No one answered, because my mother wasn't there, but she was coming. I just didn't know it yet. 48 hours feels like an eternity when you're waiting for someone to decide whether to save your daughter. My mother didn't eat. She didn't sleep well. She just waited, and he prayed. God, if this is the door you're going to open, I'm going to go in, no matter what I find on the other side. Friday afternoon, the phone rang. Mrs. Mahone, this is Don Feeney. Can we talk in person? Tomorrow, 10 o'clock? Where? He gave the address. She wrote it down with a steady hand. I'll be there. Saturday morning. Dallas.corporate training. Unlimited's office was in a nondescript building. No flashy signs. No advertising. People who did what they did didn't need marketing. My mother parked. Took a deep breath. Got in. The reception area was simple. Wooden table, leather chairs, silence. Mrs. Mahone? A secretary appeared. This way. She walked down a hallway. Gray walls, fluorescent light, porta no final. The secretary knocked. It opened. Mr. Feeney, Mrs. Mahone has arrived. He was behind a table full of maps, tall, gray hair in a military cut. Eyes that had seen too much. Beside him, another man. Younger. Defined muscles. Erect posture. Mrs. Mahone, this is Dave Chatelier, my partner. They shook her hand, firmly, respectfully. Please sit down. She sat down. Don opened a folder. I've spent the last 2 days studying your case. I've contacted some acquaintances in the area. I have good news and bad news. More primero. He smiled sideways. He liked the answer. Bad news. Your ex-husband is in the city of Jerash, northern Jordan, living with his extended family. The house is guarded. Conservative neighborhood. Your daughter doesn't go out alone. Her heart sank. And the good ones? Good news. She goes to school. Every day. The school bus passes by the house at 7:30 in the morning. That's our extraction point. Extraction. A cold word for something so hot. Dave spread maps on the table. Jordan, Israel, borders, roads. The plan is simple in theory, complicated in execution, he said. We intercept the bus. We grab the girl. We flee south. We cross the border into Israel. From there, you fly back home. You, my mother repeated. You're going with us. I go. Dawn leaned over. Mrs. Mahone, your daughter doesn't know me. She doesn't know Dave. If strange men show up and try to pull her off a bus, she'll scream. She'll resist. She'll think she's being kidnapped again. He paused. But if she sees you, if she hears your voice, she'll understand. She'll come with you. My mother swallowed hard. When do we leave? 3 weeks. Time for preparation. Documents. Training. Training? You need to know how to move, how to react under pressure, how to cross a militarized border without arousing suspicion. She nodded. And the cost? Heavy silence. Dave looked at Dawn. Dawn looked at her. $100,000. The world turned. My mother didn't have $100,000. She didn't have half that, but he didn't say anything. He just asked, when do I need to pay? Half now. Half when your daughter is safe. She stood up. She held out her hand. I'll get the money. See you in 3 weeks. Making $100,000 in 3 weeks is impossible unless you sell everything. My mother sold the car, the house, the jewelry, the furniture. He called his family, his friends, everyone who could lend him money. It's for Lauren, she said, to bring her back. Some helped, others doubted. Cathy, are you sure about this? You could lose everything and still not make it. Then I'll lose everything trying. She worked double, triple. She slept 3 hours a night. And he prayed. He always prayed. God, I know you didn't bring me this far to abandon me. I trust. I trust. Within 2 weeks, she had $50,000. He handed it to Dawn in a thick envelope. The rest will come when we're done, she said. He kept it without counting. Now let's get you ready. The training was intense. Every day. 6 in the morning. Gym closed. Dave taught. Dawn watched. Running. Strength. Endurance. You'll need to run. Carry your daughter. Endure the fatigue. She held on. They taught basic languages. Arabic, Hebrew, just the essentials. So as not to raise suspicion, they taught culture, how to dress, how to act, how to go unnoticed. You're a tourist, nothing more. If anyone asks, you're visiting historical sites. They taught you what to do if something goes wrong. If we get separated, you go to the rendezvous point. Here. Dave pointed on the map. A church in Jerusalem. Wait 24 hours. If no one shows up, go to the American consulate. My mother memorized everything. Addresses, directions, emergency numbers. It wouldn't go wrong. It couldn't go wrong. Last week before the trip, Dawn called her into the office. I chose the other 2 men on the team, ex-Rangers, specialized in high-risk operations. He showed pictures. 2 men, early 30s, hard stare. They will meet us in Amman. Why don't we travel together? Less suspicion, less attention. Small groups go unnoticed. It made sense. One more thing, Dawn said. He handed over an envelope. Your documents. Passport, visa, hotel reservation. She opened it. The passport had her photo, But the name was different. Catherine Miller, history teacher, traveling alone. She looked at him. That's it. Necessary. Your real name might be on a list somewhere. If your ex-husband suspected anything, he'd alert the authorities. So you're no longer Cathy Mahone. At least not until we leave Jordan. She kept the envelope. Catherine Miller, history teacher, tourist. Necessary lies. Eve of the trip. My mom packed her suitcase. Modest clothes. A scarf to cover her hair, comfortable sneakers. He sat on the bed. The room was empty. She had sold almost everything. But it didn't matter. Things can be replaced. No daughters. She picked up the Bible and opened it to Psalms. The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. Even when everything is missing, even when the world says it's impossible, even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. He closed the book and pressed it to his chest. Hold my hand, God. I'm going to need it. Dallas Airport, November 1987. 5 a.m. My mother arrived alone. 2 suitcases, a determined heart. Don and Dave were already there. They didn't greet each other. They didn't talk. Unknown, at least to the eyes of those who were watching. She checked in. She went through security. She sat at the boarding gate. He looked out the window. Planes taking off, lights flashing. Somewhere out there, on the other side of the world, I was waking up, going to school, sitting on a bus, not knowing that in 2 weeks everything would change, not knowing my mother was on her way. Flight 447 to New York, connecting to Amman, is now beginning boarding. She stood up, he took a deep breath, and got on the plane. Not like Cathy Mahone, but like Catherine Miller, teacher, tourist, mother on a mission. 12 hours later, she landed in Amman. Dry heat, the noise of a crowd, the smell of spices and dust. He picked up his suitcase and went through immigration. The officer looked at the passport. He looked at her. Purpose of visit? Tourism, she replied, her voice firm. He stamped it. Welcome to Jordan. She left. Don was outside, wearing sunglasses, holding a map like any tourist. He didn't look at her. He just walked by and whispered, Hotel Intercontinental, room 412, tomorrow, 6 a.m, and disappeared into the crowd. My mother took a taxi. She arrived at the hotel and checked in. He went up to his room. He locked the door. He sat on the bed, and finally, after weeks of holding it in, she broke down. He cried, loudly, without holding back. Because it was close, so close. But what if it didn't work out? What if I didn't want to go with her? It is enough, she said aloud. No more fear. God is in control. He washed his face. He lay down, and he slept with the Bible under his pillow. Tomorrow the impossible would begin. January 1988, Jerash, Jordan. 6 a.m. My mother woke up before the alarm clock. In fact, she had barely slept. Every noise in the hotel sounded like an alarm. Every car on the street seemed like a threat. She got up. She showered. She put on dark clothes. She tied her hair back. He looked in the mirror. You can do it, she told herself. You'll bring her back. Knock on the door 3 times. Pause twice, combined signal. She opened it. Don, Dave, and the other 2 men she only knew by code names. Hawk, Bear. War names. Protected identities. Ready? Don asked. Ready. They left the hotel in 2 cars. A gray sedan. A beige Jeep. Nothing flashy. Nothing that would raise suspicion. The road to Jerash was long, dusty, curves, heavy silence. My mother was in the back seat, hands clasped tightly, heart racing. Don was driving. Dave was next to him. "We'll be there in 40 minutes, Don said. "When we get there, you stay in the car until we give the signal. What if something goes wrong? I will get it right. But what if—" He looked in the rearview mirror. Mrs. Mahone, doubt is poison in missions like these. You either believe or you give up. There is no middle ground. She took a deep breath. "I believe." "Then trust. In us, in God, and in your daughter." Jerash appeared on the horizon, small town, ancient buildings, Roman ruins in the distance, nice to see, terrible to feel, because somewhere in there I was getting ready to go to school. The cars stopped 2 streets away from my father's family home. Don took out binoculars. He looked. "The house is over there, 2nd floor, front window." He gave it to my mother. She looked and saw me. I was at the window, hair tied up, school uniform, looking at the street as if he was waiting for someone, as if he knew. The tears came fast. "My God," she whispered. "It's her, my Lauren." Don touched her shoulder. "Breathe. It's not over yet." 7:15 in the morning. The bus was going to come in 15 minutes. "Hawk and Bear, you guys stay on the corner. Watch for any movement from the family. If anyone runs out, grab them," Don instructed. They both nodded. They left. "Dave, you drive the getaway car. I'll go with Mrs. Mahone to the bus. What if the driver resists?" Dave asked. "I'll take care of him." My mother felt her stomach churn. "No one's going to get hurt, right?" Don looked at her. "Not if I can help it." 7:25. They got out of the car and walked to the bus stop. My mother wore a headscarf, sunglasses, invisible, just another woman on the street. Don stood close, hands in his pockets, eyes wide open. "When the bus stops, I'll get on first. I'll stop the driver. You get on. Get your daughter. Get off. Understood?" "Understood." Mrs. Mahone. "Try? Don't hesitate. You have 10 seconds. Maybe less." She nodded, heart pounding so loud she swore everyone could hear it. 7:30. The yellow bus appeared around the corner. My mother felt her legs go weak. "Focus," Don said softly. The bus stopped. Door opened. Don entered first, quickly, steadily. He grabbed the driver by the shoulder. He pressed something against his back. "Quiet. Don't move." The man froze. And then my mother came upstairs. I was sitting in the 4th row, looking out the window, thinking about nothing, and then I heard, "Lauren." "I'll come. Here you go." Red hair, blue eyes, a face I knew even though it was covered in tears. Mama? It didn't make sense. She couldn't be there. It was impossible. But it was her. "Lauren, come with me." "Now," other children screamed. The driver tried to move. Don held him tighter. I was paralyzed. 4 months away from her. 4 months learning that my life was now different. And suddenly there she was. "Lauren, please." Her voice broke. "I came to get you. Let's go home." Home. The word woke me up. I got up. I grabbed my backpack and I ran into her arms. She grabbed me, squeezed me, so tight I could barely breathe. "I love you. I love you so much. Mom, later. Now we need to leave." Don released the driver. He pushed him back into his seat. "Stay here. Count to 100. Don't move." We got off the bus, running. The car was 20 meters away. Dave already had the engine running. Open door. We went in. The door slammed. The car started. I looked out the back window. The driver got out of the bus, shouting, pointing. People started coming out of their houses. And then I saw my father, running, screaming my name, "Baba!" I screamed. My mother held me. "Don't look, Lauren. Don't look." But I looked. I saw him running after the car. I saw the desperation on his face. And then he disappeared. Dave drove fast. Dirt road, dust rising. Don was talking on the radio. Hawk, Bear, meet us at point B. Now. Copy. My mother held me, her hand on my head, praying softly. Thank you, God, thank you. I was confused, scared, relieved, all at the same time. Mommy, where are we going? Home, my love, home. 2 hours on the road. They stopped to change cars. Hawk and Bear were already waiting. They transferred suitcases. They reorganized. Border in an hour, Don said. Last part, the most dangerous. My mother looked at him. Dangerous how? The border between Jordan and Israel is militarized. If they suspect anything, they'll stop us, interrogate us. And if they find out that Lauren was taken out of the country without her father's permission, he didn't need to finish. What do we do? She asked. Reza. The border appeared. 2 checkpoints. Flags. Soldiers with rifles. Dave stopped the car in line. 3 cars in front, 2 behind. Documents ready, Don said. My mother took the passport. Mine. The visas. All fake. All arranged, Lauren, she whispered. If they ask you anything, you don't say anything. Let me answer. Understand? I nodded, but I didn't understand anything. Our turn has come. A soldier approached. Green uniform. Rifle on his shoulder, he knocked on the window. Dave rolled it down. Passports, Dave delivered. The soldier looked. He leafed through. He looked inside the car. For my mother. For me. Where are you coming from? Amman, my mother replied. Her voice firm. Tourism. Where are you going? Jerusalem. Visiting holy sites. He looked at me. Is this your daughter? Yes. Silence. He looked at the passports again. My mother squeezed my hand. So hard it hurt, the soldier handed the documents back. Go. The gate went up. Dave drove, slowly, no rush, until it passes completely, until entering Israeli territory. And then my mother released the breath she had been holding. We did it, Don said. Dave smiled for the first time. Hawk and Bear, in the car behind, honked twice. Sign of victory. My mother hugged me, and he cried, not out of fear this time, of relief. It's over, she whispered. It's over, but it wasn't over, not completely. The physical rescue had been successful, but the emotional rescue would take years. We arrived in Dallas on a Tuesday in February. Cold gray sky. But it was home. At least it was for my mother. For me, home was a confusing concept. 4 months in Jordan had changed something inside me. Something I couldn't explain. When the plane landed, she held my hand. Welcome back, Lauren. I didn't answer, because I didn't know if I was going back or if I was being taken away again. The first few weeks were strange. She tried to make everything seem normal. He cooked my favorite meals. He put on my cartoons on TV. He took me to the park, but I was no longer the same girl who had left, and she knew it. At night, I woke up screaming. I dreamed of my father, of the house in Jerash, of the bus. She would run to my room. She would rock me. She would sing softly, "It's okay. I'm here. You're safe." But I didn't feel safe. I felt divided. The months passed. Therapy twice a week, a kind lady with round glasses and a calm voice. Lauren, can you tell me how you feel? I didn't know how I felt, sad, angry, confused, all at once. I want to see my father, I said once. My mother, sitting nearby, froze. The therapist looked at her. At me. Why do you want to see him? Because he's my father. And I don't understand. Why did he take me? Why did he do this? Questions that no one could answer, at least not in a way that made sense to a 7-year-old. The media found out. Mother rescues daughter on daring mission in Jordan. Ex-military personnel helping international rescue reporters called. They knocked on the door. They wanted interviews. My mother refused everything. No, my daughter needs peace, not the spotlight. But the news spread anyway, and with them came fear. What if my father tried again? What if he sent someone? What if we were never truly safe? We moved cities 3 times in the first year. False names, secret addresses, always looking back, always waiting for something bad to happen. I grew up angry. Anger at the situation. Anger at my father. Anger at my mother too sometimes. Because in my childish mind, she had taken me away from him. I know. It didn't make sense. He had been the kidnapper, but trauma doesn't follow logic. I fought with her a lot. I said horrible things. I hate you. You destroyed everything. She endured. She never yelled back. It just said, I know you're angry. I understand. But I love you. And I always will. At 15, I decided I wanted to talk to my father. My mother tried to convince me to wait, to think more. But I had already decided. I found his number. I called, he answered. Lauren. His voice. After 8 years. Yes, it's me. Silence on the other side. Then, crying. My daughter. My Lauren. I missed you so much. Let's talk. Half an hour. An hour. I asked everything I wanted to know. Why did you take me? I wanted to give you a better life. Teach you about our roots. But you took me away from my mother. I thought I was doing the right thing. I thought, no, I was wrong. No, I'm sorry. Just, I found it. I hung up the phone. And I realized something. I wasn't going to get the answer I wanted. I wasn't going to get the apology I needed. Because my father didn't think he had done anything wrong. In his mind, he had done what a father should do, and nothing I said was going to change that. The years passed. College, relationships, work. I became a physical therapist. I helped people recover from injuries, help them walk again, help them move again. Funny. I was helping others heal while I was still broken inside. I met a man, good, kind, patient. We dated. We got married. And then my children came. 2 boys. Beautiful. Perfect. And that's when everything really changed. Holding. My first child in my arms made me understand something I had never understood before. Mother's love. I looked at that little baby, so small, so helpless, and I thought, I would do anything for you. I would cross the world. I would risk everything. And then I thought about my mother, in everything she had done, in everything she had risked. The tears came fast. I called her that night. Mother, Lauren, is everything okay? I just wanted to thank you. Thank you for what? For not giving up on me. For coming to get me. For loving me even when I was horrible to you. She cried on the other end of the line. I will always love you, my love. Always. But there was still one thing I needed to do. Forgive my father. Not because he deserved it. Not because he asked for it. But because I needed to free myself. Forgiveness is not about the other person. It's about you. It's about letting go of the weight. It's about letting God take care of what you can't carry. It took me years to get there. Years of therapy, of prayer, of internal struggle. Until one day, I was reading the Bible, Matthew 6:14-15. If you forgive others their trespasses, your heavenly Father will also forgive you. But if you do not forgive others their trespasses, your heavenly Father will not forgive your trespasses. And I understood. Holding a grudge wasn't hurting my father. It was hurting me. I called him. Last time. Good? Lauren. His voice was weaker, older. I just wanted to tell you one thing. I forgive you. Silence. Lauren, you don't have to say anything. I just needed to tell you. I forgive you for what happened, and I hand you over to God. It's not my responsibility to carry this anymore. I hung up. and for the first time in years, I breathed in truth. Today, I am 42 years old. I'm a wife, mother, physical therapist, and podcast creator where I tell my story and hear other people's stories. People who were broken and healed. People who forgave the unforgivable. People who found God in the midst of pain. My mother participates sometimes. She tells her side of the story, and every time she speaks, I cry, because now I understand. Love doesn't give up, no matter the cost, and God transforms even the most painful stories into testimonies of redemption. There are days when I still remember the smell, spices, road dust, fear. But now, when I remember, I don't feel angry. I feel gratitude, because that 7-year-old girl, scared on a school bus in Jordan, became this woman, strong, healed, free, and all because a mother wouldn't take no for an answer, all because she believed that God could do the impossible, and He did. And you? Have you ever had to forgive someone who never apologized? Have you ever had to let go of something that was holding you back? I learned that forgiveness is not weakness. It's the strongest thing you can do, and no matter how deep your wound, God can heal it. He healed mine, and He can heal yours too.
This was just one part of the extraordinary journey of Lauren and Cathy Mahone. Two women marked by loss, injustice, and trials that would have broken many hearts, but instead transformed them. They proved that courage is not the absence of fear, but the decision to move forward even when all seems lost. That faith, when sustained by love, is capable of rebuilding what seemed irretrievable. Their story is a powerful reminder that no mistake, separation, or pain is greater than the power of forgiveness. That time can heal wounds, but it is forgiveness that frees the soul. If this story touched your heart, please share it with someone who needs to hear it. It's never too late to start over, which true freedom begins within us. And that love, the love that endures, believes, and insists, never give up. Because, in the end, life is not about what we lose, but about what we decide not to let die inside us.